Welcome to this episode of the Formula Podcast, where I share my experiences, experiments, and conversations around designing a fulfilling life in whatever form that means for you. So, really pumped to share part 2 of the Daily Habits episode. Part 1 was released a little while ago. It actually has taken us a bit longer to put these episodes together just because there's a lot of work that goes into them. So thank you for your patience. Really pumped to share this episode with you as we have some previous guests that are going to be sharing, diet, exercise, different things that they do on a daily basis that they feel like really helps them compete or create at the highest level. So let's get right into this right after a quick word about our sponsors. The first sponsor for this episode is Lady Boss. Lady Boss is a women's fitness and health company that really tries to provide as many resources as possible to help women live the healthiest lives possible. So if you want to check out some of their free resources, you can head on over to theformulapodcast.com's sponsored products page and click the link there to head to their website and see what types of different free guides and workout plans, stuff like that they have available for you. Now, our second sponsor for this episode is Liquid Web. If you've listened to any of our episodes about launching your own e-commerce company or an online business, they have these pre-made solutions for you that you can just go on over and sign up for. Now, if you check the show notes, they provided Formula Podcast listeners with a little bit of a coupon code, so you can just check out the show notes. I believe it's Formula 33. You get 33% off all Liquid Web products. So, big shout out to them for hooking us up. Now, let's get on with the show. All right, first up is my friend Colin Wright, who's going to share his habits for a successful day that he's learned from being a writer and world traveler for the better part of a decade.
There's no consistent one. And that's been necessitated because of all the travel where I don't know what infrastructure I'll have. And in some places I go, there's the call to morning prayer at 5 a.m. every morning. And so that tends to wake me up. In other places like Iceland, people don't wake up until 10. So my schedule is very flexible. Here in Memphis, it's been a little bit more set in that I typically wake up, do some exercises, some very, very light exercising in the morning, sit and think for 10 minutes, just doing nothing, have some coffee, check the email, get a few difficult things done, like things that are not enjoyable that I know I need to get done. Getting those out of the way in the morning typically helps and helps propel me into what I want to do next. And then it's really unstructured. I'll go out and explore the city. I'm learning to cook and I'm learning to play piano right now, which are 2 additional projects in addition to producing other music and doing all the stuff that I do for a living. So the rest of my day is usually a mix of trying out new recipes, and further improving my cooking skills, working on piano lessons that I'm kind of self-guiding, just playing guitar and singing for fun. That's something that I've been doing for ages that I enjoy. And then some type of writing, some type of playing around on social media, seeing what I can share that might be valuable for people, reading a whole lot. Just trying a bunch of new things. I like to mix up my day and keep it interesting and have a few things like piano practice that I can predict that are the framework for the day. But then everything else I like to keep it pretty mixed up so that I can surprise myself.
That way you have a little extra excitement in your day.
Yeah. It's I don't know, having that anticipation, but then also having that novelty. It really does kind of jolt you out of any autopilot that you might find yourself drifting into. And so I like finding myself at the end of the day knowing that I've done a lot, even if it's been, sitting around and reading all day, that's still doing a lot. And being able to look back on that and remember the moments and not feel like my day just disappeared and not knowing where it went. I love feeling like I had a long day full of interesting things.
All right. Next up, we have my friend Nick Luberson, a.k.a. the DJ known as Moods.
I wake up at 9 or 10 mostly, and I need the coffee. So that's the first thing I'll do. I'll make some coffee, and I'll eat some breakfast and do some mailing or do the mails. And after that I go to the gym. I really Yeah, because my work is really behind the desk all the time, so I think it's nice to go to the gym and do some sporting, and there's also a swimming pool, so I can exercise. And after that, I just dive again into the mills, and after that, I'll just go into music and see whatever what needs to be done that day. I'll try to do it.
Yeah.
And sometimes I'll work till 12 till midnight, and sometimes I work till 3 a.m. or that it depends on my creative how creative I am at that moment.
Yeah. Do you have a time of day that you find yourself being more creative than others?
Yeah, at night somehow I feel like at night the world is finally asleep, and I can do my thing. So, and it really is somehow that really works for me. If it's quiet outside and I can hear, it's nice when it's dark and the whole street is silent and I can just do the music.
Yeah, it almost sounds like it's like calming for calming outside to allow your mind to create a little more clearly.
Yeah, that's it. Yeah, it feels just more in the right place at night.
Yeah. I want to ask about your gym routine a little bit, because that's, we do interview some fitness people on the podcast. So when you go to the gym, is there a certain type of workout you do? Are you mostly doing like cardio? Are you doing like heavy lifting? What's that look like for you?
I'll do cardio and heavy lifting both. Like lately, I've been really into heavy lifting, but I just make sure I'll exercise till I almost can't walk. That's really horrible, by the way. But no, I'll just make sure I'll really put in work, and then after that, I'll dive into the swimming pool, and there's also a sauna, so I'll just relax a bit.
Yeah.
And I'm new to the fitness thing, so I've always been into sports, but the whole fitness part is new for me, so I don't really have like a well planned out routine, but it's just whatever makes me tired, I guess.
This next guest is Andy Anderson, who is he's just an extraordinary athlete who's climbed Mount Everest and done a Leadman. He's going to share his habits for a successful day with you.
So people use children as like, I have children, I'm so busy that I can't do things now. So my day looks like, my typical day looks like this. I'll wake up at about between 5:45 and 6 and get ready before my children wake up, and they wake up at 6:15 on the dot, like every day. And I get them ready and for daycare and for school, and get them fed and everything and ready to go, and then go to drop them off, and then go to work. Usually work a little before 8. Work all day until about 3:30 or 4, and then hit a hard 1 to 1.5 hour workout, depending on when I can get out, and then go pick up the kids and cook dinner. Or like my wife is in China right now, so I'm single father and doing all this, and cook dinner and get them going and play and everything, and then put them to bed, and then maybe get a little bit more work done, and then go to bed myself. So I go to bed almost at the same time as my children, and then get up the next day and do it all over again. So it's not a lot of time to do other things. So I'm choosing to work out and run and ride my bike, rather than watch a movie or some other leisure activity. So I think that you just have to really compartmentalize your time. And I do what they're called time blocks.
Yeah.
So I have a block of time where it doesn't matter what else is really happening, I'm going to do that activity during that time. And that's how I get research done as well. If I don't, I just end up answering student emails all day.
Right.
And do other stuff. So time blocking is very important.
Next up is Tommy Breedlove, my friend and entrepreneur, who's going to share what he does on a daily basis to make sure his day is a win.
Yeah, so my daily routine in the morning is I usually spend somewhere between an hour or 2 hours working on myself. Various types of exercise, from martial arts to yoga, to I also do some 30-minute CrossFit type exercises, not extreme stuff. I'm getting old. But really 30 minutes or less. So one of my rules is 30 minutes or less of exercise, because I'm the guy who also can go an addictive stage on that and go hour. Let's do 10 more reps, because it's all vanity driven, and that's nonsense. So really less than 30 minutes of exercise, a minimum of 20 minutes. I usually try to do 2 different types of meditation a day so that I can exercise my mind and also my soul. I have a plethora of books that it's basically daily, from Marcus Aurelius' The Emperor's Handbook to 365 Tao to some other, The Alchemist would be on that, The Prophet. So I read excerpts from those books just to gain wisdom, remind me of, the man I want to be. And I also take time outdoors. So a lot of that stuff I do outside. I walk my dog. So it's really about just getting ready for my morning, taking care of the machine, the body, the mind, the emotional state, and putting myself in the best possible situation to A, have a great day, and B, to be able to serve the communities that I want to serve. And so that's how I start my day every day.
Yeah, that sounds like a really solid routine. Is there anything that you find to be more beneficial than any of the other parts of your routine?
To me, exercise, because it's one of the few times I really get quiet and concentrate on especially martial arts and yoga. It really gets me back into my body and helps me just to be focused on quietness in me. So that one's huge for me. And I would say meditation, because we talk about eating right and exercising our body, but I also think we have to exercise our mind and soul. And so I'm actually going to write a book, easy meditations for business people, from, getting quiet before you send an email to the big meeting, to walking, to just little things we can do to exercise our minds and our insides as well. And so I think between exercising your outside and exercising your mind and soul, I just think it's really huge for me. And I found it to be the most impactful things. And most of the guys I aspire, like I look up to, guys and gals, they all have a huge meditation routine.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, sometimes it's just remembering to breathe. It's like,
yeah, indeed.
It's like take a deep breath. It's like, okay, all right, I'm good.
Yeah, not only taking a deep breath, but think about that. The thing we take for granted, our heart beating and our breath. That's the things that keep us alive. And just not only taking a deep breath, but just saying thank you and feeling it.
Yeah.
Gratitude's a feeling, man. And you're feeling, hey, thank you for breathing again, because it really keeps me alive. So yeah.
All right. Next, we have my friend and host of the Perspective Collective, or Perspective podcast, Scotty Russell, to share his daily habits for a creative, successful day.
Daily routine. I kind of talked about it earlier, but everything starts the night before. I clean up. I set my schedule. I plan one big thing a day. And sometimes maybe it's 1 to 3, like maybe it's push the podcast live and tackle the beginnings of a client project. But since I do work a day job, at 7 a.m. I go to work, but I get up at usually 4:30 a.m. so I can grind for an hour and a half on what matters most in the day. When I think I'm a night owl by default, but I feel like in the morning you have the most willpower. And so you can tackle those hardest tasks before you go through a whole day of being distracted and having all these things begging for your attention. It's the morning I get to just do my thing. No one else in the world is even up right now. And that's where I find I'm most productive. Then I do the day job. I put in some type of work in my 2 10-minute breaks. Maybe it's responding to people on social media. Maybe it's sending emails back to someone, or on my lunch, I'm doing some type of work. I go to the gym when I get done just to get my mind right, so I'm not an asshole. The gym and fitness is very important to me. And then I go home, maybe put another hour in, maybe 2 hours, and then, chill with the wife and cats.
The wife and cats.
Yeah, wife and cats. Those are my kids.
Okay. I was going to say, don't you have kids too?
But... No kids, just cats. But those are my kids.
I gotcha. Yeah, that's an interesting comment you made about the gym. I think the last episode I released with Tommy Breedlove from Atlanta, he was talking about
exercise as well. He didn't say it didn't make him an asshole, but I can definitely relate to that too. If I'm not like breaking a sweat every day, it's just like, I feel like you understand when you can tell the difference.
Mm-hmm. I like releasing dopamine. Endorphins. Yes. I need to release those endorphins. I need to feel good about myself because it's so easy to slump into that, that person who was a victim of their circumstances growing up, that little fourth grader who got picked on and bullied. It's so easy to revert to that for me. So I need to stay in the gym. It's easier to stay up than to get knocked down and try to get back up again. So it's like I try to stay up every day feeling good, listen to some type of, self-improvement content, audiobooks, podcasts, but also I get my shit done. I schedule my day. I'm very strict with my schedule. I schedule each pocket at a time in the day of what needs to get done at once. One big thing when I go to the gym, and communicate that to my wife so we're all on the same page.
I think that you got to schedule, man, because if you don't and you have a lot of shit on your plate, that time is going to end up going to like browsing Facebook or something.
If you just wing it each day. I used to be the one who winged it each day, and I never got anything done, and I was wondering why I was making minimal progress in a million directions when I just was winging it. And once I started getting more intentional about scheduling the things that mattered most, shit got done. And I like going to bed being like, damn, I feel good. I got some shit done today. Like that. Today. Yeah, I like that feeling. That feeling is addicting. And I want everybody to feel that way.
All right. And last but not least, we have AppSumo's Noah Kagan to share what he does on a daily basis to give himself a leg up on the day or perform at an optimal level.
Dude, my daily routine has varied over the years. I've experimented with so many different ways of doing it, like meditating in the morning or like having an ice shower or ice water. I think at some point in your life, you just kind of get used to how things are in the morning and you're probably not going to change it too much. So as I was telling someone earlier today, just buy a nice bed. Go expend as much, take all the money you have in the bank, get a nicer computer and phone, and then get a nicer bed. And your whole day will be better. And learn how to type better and speed up your trackpad on your computer, and your overall life will be better. My habits now are I'll just tell you what I did this morning. I'll just be straight. I woke up. I make my bed every morning. Why? Because it just feels good. I come home, it's clean, and you get a little win in the morning. Then I keep my phone out of my bedroom. I go to the phone. I've removed email from my phone. I don't have Facebook or Twitter. I have Instagram, and I follow basically people that do fitness and like healthy cooking. I scroll through that, and I look at a few of these. I look at Slack and text to see if my girlfriend texted me or anything from work. I put that down, take a morning poop. You got to get your bowel movements. If you don't get a good bowel movement, you're not going to have a good day.
Can I quote you on that?
For sure. Dude, it's like a victory right in the morning. And then today, I have Hebrew class twice a week. So I think you should try to learn something in the morning, whether you read a book, if you do a podcast, if you do a video, or do some type of exercise. So like tomorrow morning, I'm going to go for a bike ride to get tacos. So I bike to this place, I get tacos, and I bike home. So some type of like benefit learning. And I pretty much get to work, dude. I've been experimenting with no breakfast till noon. So I just don't eat anything. I have coffee until noon. And then I work most of the day until 6. I think the things that I can give people suggestions about what have made my day better or what's made me effective. I have an assistant. So even if you're not rich, you can get an assistant for $15 an hour from Fiverr or Freelancer, Upwork, hiremymom.com, whatever that is.
I love that site.
Or timeetcetera.com. There's like super cheats my brother uses. Hire an assistant, number 1. Plan your weeks out on Sunday, number 2. So every Sunday, I look at my calendar and I say, what shit am I not excited about? And I know people are like, well, no, I've got meetings and I'm working at a company. I'm like, okay, fine. Some of them you have to do, but there's probably ones in there that you don't have to do. So just be a little bit more aggressive about cutting things on Sunday and then adding things that you want to do so that you can look forward to in the week. So tonight I'm going to Macklemore with my girlfriend. And I knew on Sunday that was coming. And so every Sunday night I have things I didn't want to do, cut those, and things I do want to do, add those. And so it makes your week much more fulfilling because you're doing the things that are important for yourself. I mean, I think that's overall been some of the most helpful stuff that I've found through my days.
Well, everyone, I really hope that you enjoyed all of those daily habits from these amazing people that were kind enough to be previous guests on the show. These are clips that were pulled from previous episodes that we did to really give you guys an idea of what all of these high-performing, amazing, creative people do every single day to help them create or perform at the highest level, or just even be what they would consider to be the best version of themselves. So thanks for tuning in. Hopefully you got a few ideas on things you can add or tweak a bit in your daily routines or daily habits. Now, if I can borrow or request a couple minutes of your time, go ahead and head over to the iTunes or whatever app that you're listening to the show on, and give us a review. Let us know what you think. And I'd be really grateful. And you're really doing me a favor and our whole team a favor, because it helps other people to find our show. We can rise up the iTunes charts and get more listeners to share our message out there, and then we can keep on cranking on these episodes. So really appreciate you doing that for us if you already have, and anybody who hasn't, thank you for taking the time to doing that now. All right, that's a wrap for this week's show. We'll be releasing other parts of these as we go, as we kind of have some time to go in and chop them up. So looking forward to dropping part 3 here in a couple weeks. So that's a wrap, and I will talk to you guys next time.